Hey, sixth grade Bobcats, Mr. Flato here. I'm back for round two of sixth grade careers. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you going and looking at your guys' responses on the forms page. Just blown away at the level of effort and thought that you all put into that. So thank you. I can tell you all got something out of that. Super exciting for me. Today, part two, we're going to take that. What do you bring to the table? What skills, knowledge, abilities do you have? And the thing that sixth graders always talk about when I do this in person is, I want to find a job where I make money. So we're going to talk about how having different levels of that leads to making different levels of compensation or money. And we're also going to get into talking and looking at the difference between jobs and careers. So thank you again. It'll be the same format. Watch the video, answer the questions, get credit. All right, let's off and running. All right, I'd like you to go back and think again for a minute of what we did on the first lesson and go back to asking yourself that question. Why are you here today? Why did you get up and do school 5 days a week for roughly 9 months a year? And what is the point of all of this? Well, I want to talk a little bit more and tie this together with what do you bring to the table? And I had some great responses by all of you. Thank you very much. Last episode. Um, but hopefully it's developing knowledge, skill, or ability that you can serve others with that commands some sort of compensation, right? That's why we're in school. We're developing knowledge, um, turn that knowledge into skill of some type or some sort of ability that we can then use when we're an adult and go into the workplace and say, hey, I have this skill, ability, knowledge. I'm going to do a job and you're going to pay me for it. And the key that I want to talk about today is the higher the skill level involved, the higher the ability level involved, or the higher the knowledge level involved is going to equate to the higher one can expect to be compensated. And compensated is a kind of a professional word for getting paid. Part of the reason I always talk about this with sixth graders because when I'm actually in your class and we're talking about these things, inevitably hands go up. What is it that you want in a job or a career someday? I want to make a lot of money, right? And I will say that making money is very, very important, right? That's one of the main reasons that we work. When I had you guys ask your family, why do you do your job? That was kind of a main answer. That's a main answer. We need to be able to be and survive in the real world. Therefore, we need to get paid so that we can pay our bills, pay our home bill, pay our car bill, pay our food bill, pay our heating bill, water bill, so on and so forth, cell phone bill. And so money is very important. It's not everything, but I do believe that it is important. And I know that as a sixth grader, many of you think that that's very important. So I want to kind of tie these things together when it comes to the ability of knowledge, skill, and ability you have with how much money you can expect to be compensated. Let's take a professional athlete, for instance. First one that comes to my mind right now is LeBron James. LeBron James is probably the highest paid basketball player on Earth, on planet Earth, literally. Well, why is that? That's because he has a skill set and an ability that is arguably far better and greater than anyone else on planet Earth. Therefore, he's going to get compensated on a higher level for that. Let's look at another career. Let's look at a surgeon. Surgeons are very rare people, high levels of knowledge, skill, and ability needed. Therefore, if you're a surgeon or a medical professional or a doctor of any kind, you can expect to get compensated pretty well. If you need open heart surgery, you're not going to have Mr. Flato do it. You would probably not survive that operation, right? I don't have the knowledge and the skill and the ability to do it. Not just anybody can do that. It takes somebody with high levels of knowledge, skill, ability. Same with a lawyer. Maybe you need a lawyer someday. That's somebody that's highly trained, that's done a lot of school, that's graduated from law school. Not just anybody that can be a lawyer. That person is a special person with knowledge of laws and the court system. Or how about being an accountant, right? That's somebody that takes a very specific skill set, high levels of knowledge, high levels of skill and ability, knowing numbers and knowing how it all works together. Or finally, and I just picked 5 professions, how about a contractor? If you were building a new house, You wouldn't want me to go do that. I know a little bit about some flooring from a summer job, but I don't know how all that stuff works. I don't have that skill set, right? So that's one of the main things I want you to take from today. Talking about the same thing, let's take a look at the next slide, which talks about how much money and compensation people make over their lifetime just based on how much education they have. If you look at professional degree, doctorate degree, those are the highest level of degrees. Those are people with PhDs, those are people that are doctors, so on and so forth. You go down to a master's degree, which is 2 years past just getting your 4-year degree. Um, the money becomes less from the top, but more from anything below. Bachelor's degree is your standard 4-year degree. Associate's degree is usually, or some colleges, usually 2 years post high school. And then obviously we have a high school degree and then a less high school degree. The one thing I want everybody to take from this is, on average, the more education, the more knowledge that you equip yourself with, the better you can expect to be compensated over your lifetime. Again, because of the specialty and the knowledge and skill and getting paid for that. I'll take a classic example. Let's go back to being a surgeon, right? You don't want anybody that didn't finish high school or even a high school degree or some college bachelor. You don't want any of them operating on you. You want somebody with a professional degree that's specifically studied and trained in that. Vice versa, you look at somebody that is digging holes for a living or cleaning bathrooms. That's a quick little 5 minute, this is how you do it. And virtually anybody can do that. When virtually anybody can do it, then you're not going to get compensated that well. On the other side of that, going back to LeBron James, when virtually nobody else on earth can do it, you're going to get compensated very, very, very well for it. So, how do you get compensated better? You develop knowledge and a skill set that commands that you get compensated better. All right, the final thing I want to talk about today in the second part of sixth grade careers here is understanding and looking at the differences between jobs and careers. I think a lot of you probably use that word interchangeably, a job, a career. Well, what's the difference? Well, let's take a little bit of a look. A lot of times jobs are something you have to do. I need to find a job so I can make money so I can survive. Where a career is something that's planned out, something that you choose to do. When I chose to be a school counselor, that's a career. I chose to do that. I set out on a path to be a school counselor. Jobs are usually paid hourly. You don't get paid unless you go to work. If you're sick or you're on vacation, you're probably not getting paid for that. Where careers, you just get a salary. You make so much money a year. They divide that up usually by the 12 months a year or maybe 26 pay periods every other week, and you get paid a salary. Salaries are usually a little bit more money as well. Jobs, high turnover. You got people coming, people going all the time. Maybe not so much of desirable work. Therefore, once people can find something else, they usually move on. Where careers, you have longevity. You do that. That's for a longer period of time because, again, that's what you want to do. A lot of jobs have little to no training required. Like I was saying with cleaning maybe some bathrooms or something. Here's the soap. You go clean it. This is how you do it. Have at it. Where careers usually have higher levels of skill and knowledge required. It's not something that you can just learn how to do in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. A lot of times with careers, it takes years and years and years of preparation and training to do that. Jobs, little to no benefits. You usually get paid hourly, and that's the end of it. Where careers, a lot of times you'll get benefits within that. What are benefits? That's paid time off. If you're sick or you have somewhere else to be, you get so many days a year where you can not go to work but still get paid. Health insurance. Health insurance, usually with jobs, you have to pay for your own, where with careers, usually that's part of the compensation. You get paid, your health insurance gets paid, which is very, very, very important. The last part would be maybe retirement. With jobs, if you want to retire, you got to go do that on your own. Where a lot of times with careers, they will contribute money that you can invest for your retirement. Again, jobs, no planning. Usually, you just kind of go sign up and do it. Where careers are well planned in advance, jobs are usually lower compensation versus careers which are higher. And then finally, the jobs a lot of time is just I need to find a job. I got to find a job so that I can make some money so that I can pay my bills. It's a means to survival. Where hopefully a career is purpose. Like it is what you're on earth to be doing. It's something that you value and you believe on a deep, deep level that is what you're supposed to be doing. I go back to being a school counselor. I feel like that's my purpose. I feel like that is my gift. to the world, even though that sounds a little narcissistic, but that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be putting my all into this career lesson right now. So some differences between jobs and careers. Finally, just want to share one statistic with you today, and this was copied and pasted off the internet. Um, but it says, definitions aside, the average number of jobs in a lifetime is 12, according to the 2019 Bureau of Labor Statistics, of baby boomers. That's a different generation. Many workers spend 5 years or less in every job, so they devote more time and energy transitioning from one job to another. Interesting statistic, and I'm going to ask you why on the forms part.